Hello everybody and happy Friday from Lara at Pure Elliott Wave. I'm going to give you a quick update today of Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. I do this Monday to Friday. If you're not already subscribed, I recommend doing so you don't lose my channel and you don't miss my 5 times a week Monday to Friday updates for these 3 markets. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Please hit the like button and make a comment because all of your engagement helps my little YouTube channel grow. Before I get into it, someone has asked me, how do you work with Motive Wave without getting the chart squished up? If I move my cursor down here, you see how the cursor changes. I can click and drag to contract the chart and drag in the opposite direction to expand the chart. And then on this side here, you can pull it up and down. So it's really movable. So that's how I work with not having my wave counts and my work on the charts all squished up, just to answer that question. Bitcoin's having an upward day, but it's not particularly strong, and it's so far at 1:30 in the afternoon, it's developing a bit of a bearish upper wick. Still finding resistance about 38,000. It remains to be seen how this session is going to close. So overall, there's still an upward bias. We haven't seen a deeper pullback. If we see price close below support at 35,000, I'll expect more downward movement for a sharp pullback to about 31,000. But I said, I think earlier last week, look out for surprises to the upside at this point in the analysis now for these markets. My Elliott Wave counts for Ethereum and XRP are very, very bullish. Strong third waves at multiple large degrees, maybe in very early stages. And pullbacks or consolidations that I expect may not happen. So if I'm going to be wrong, it's going to be in expecting some downward movement, which just might not come. So far, today's session, an upward session, has stronger volume than yesterday's red daily candlestick, although overall volume is declining as price is essentially moving sideways. There's a nice little range now for Bitcoin on balance volume. I'll be looking for a break above the yellow resistance or below the purple support line for a signal. Sometimes this breakout occurs before a breakout in price when it's in a consolidation zone and gives us a handy indicator of the direction that price is going to break out. That's my favorite way to use on balance volume. ADX is declining, telling us there's no clear trend after the previous upward trend reached very extreme into danger territory. And so with no clear trend, I would revert to a model of stochastics plus support and resistance. And that tells me after stochastics reached overbought and price reached resistance to expect overall a downward swing until stochastics reaches oversold and price reaches support, which I would expect would be about 31,000. So that model would expect a sharp pullback to relieve those extreme conditions for a downward swing within a larger consolidation before perhaps a new upward trend may begin. The Elliott Wave count for Ethereum remains essentially the same. I'm still expecting a double combination may continue sideways for minute wave 2. The first structure in the double is a zigzag labelled minuet W. The double is joined by a 3 in the opposite direction labelled X, which is relatively deep, and then the second structure in the double, now an expanded flat labelled A, B, C, subdividing 3, 3, 5. Today B is moving a little bit higher. If there's weakness in this upward movement though, that would fit a B wave. B waves should exhibit weakness in terms of range and or volume and or momentum. So let's have a look at technicals for that. Before we go there, I would expect C to move at least slightly below the end of A to avoid a truncation and now a very rare running flat. And if minute 2 ended about the log function of the 0.382 Fibonacci ratio at 1876.56, that would see minuet Y end about the same level as W, and the whole structure would overall have a sideways look, and that's what double combinations should look like. Their purpose is to take up time and move price sideways. Let's have a look at strength or weakness within this B wave, well, the possible B wave. Price is moving higher, bit of a bearish upper wick so far during the session at 1:30 in the afternoon, unable to remain above resistance at 2,400, but let's see how the session closes. If we do see a downward swing, look for support at 1880. If price could close below that, next support would be 1800. There is a little bit of a push from volume today, a little stronger than yesterday's red candlestick, but overall volume is declining, and overall this volume today so far is quite a lot weaker than previous sessions. So yes, there is a decline in volume overall and a decline in range. So yes, there could be a little bit B wave, so that Elliott Wave count does have a little support from classic technical analysis here. ADX is declining as well for Ethereum after reaching fairly extremes, so if we revert to the model of stochastics plus support and resistance, we would then expect after stochastics reached overbought and it's now moving through neutral for it to overall continue down until it reaches oversold and price reaches support. And so overall that would expect a downward swing to support at either 1880 or maybe 1800. So for XRP, my Elliott Wave count expects that this pullback labelled minor wave 2 is complete as an expanded flat labelled A, B, C, subdividing 3, 3, 5. The structure is complete, but I'll have confidence if we see a new high above 0.6295. At the daily time frame for XRP, it's having a really weak tiny little session so far, a little red doji, resistance continuing to hold at 62 cents. A couple of days ago though, we did have a bullish reversal pattern, a bullish piercing pattern. It comes in the context of a downward trend, albeit short term, but I will read this as a bullish reversal pattern. So that supports the Elliott Wave count that sees the pullback as possibly over. Upward movement though, up off the low, is quite weak. That's not a deal breaker, unfortunately, for a cryptocurrency. If you look back historically at their long-term sustained lows that have been sustained for many years, you will see initial days up off those lows can be quite weak in terms of volume and sometimes range as well. ADX also declining for XRP, so reverting to a model of stochastics plus support and resistance. Stochastics reached overbought. We had a downward swing. Stochastics reached oversold. It now has a positive slope and is moving into neutral territory. That model would expect an upward swing, so that model fits the Elliott Wave count. That's it from me with your Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP analysis today, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and you're all looking forward to a lovely weekend.